Welcome everyone today. My name is Mr. O, and today I'm going to be explaining specifically numbers 17 through 19 on the SAT Practice Exam 1, Section 4, the calculator portion of the SAT. And usually how I do this is that in the beginning I go through the problem real quick, and then I explain the problem in depth as to how I was able to get to the answer quickly. So let me go ahead and get started. So for number 17, the complete graph of the minimum. Wow. Okay. Okay. So for number 17, the final answer is B, and I'm going to explain to you how I was able to get to this answer. So usually for this type of question, I'm looking for what they're asking me. So I know that this is my function f, and it asks me for its minimum. So I'm looking for the lowest possible value on this graph, and I'm looking here and I see that right here is my lowest possible point, but they're asking for the value of x, not for the f of x. So if you chose -2, that would be the most common error that was made for students because they're not reading it carefully. They're looking for x, not f of x, which is the y coordinate. They're looking for the x coordinate. So I counted 1, 2, 3 from the origin, 1, 2, 3, -3, and thus my final answer for number 17 is B. And to continue on to the next question, so for number 18, let's go ahead and get started. Okay. Okay. Oh, okay. So for number 18, the final answer is A, and I'm going to explain to you how I was able to get to this answer. So for number 18, the question mainly is asking, and I read it real quick, was that they gave me this point 0, 0, and they're asking me what's the relationship between A and B. And I could tell right off when I was looking at the answer choices that that's sort of what they were looking at. And so what I did right here was that I plugged in y is 0, x is 0, and I went about, like trying to solve it out. And so right here, I plugged in 0, 0, and I knew that 0 plus A is going to be just A. So I knew that 0 had to be less than A. But when I plugged in 0, 0 for this part, it stated that 0 is greater than B. And thus, based on the concept called commutative property, or even the idea of substitution in a way, what happened was that I know right off that since A is greater than 0, but 0 is greater than B, it had to be A is greater than B. There's no other, trick or formula to this, and thus why final answer for number 18 is A. And time to go ahead to the last question. So for number 19. Okay. And duly note that because of this portion right here is a calculator portion, I'm allowed to use a calculator for this. Okay. Ooh, did I mess up somewhere? Ooh. Let's see. So, okay, 209. Okay, 209 times 2, 418. Okay, I got that. Minus 2s. So 450. Oops. Oh, I see where I did wrong. Whoop. I typed in something a little bit wrong. But it's easy correction. Okay. Okay. So my final answer for number 19 is B, and I'm going to go ahead and explain to you what I did. And so right here, I'm just going to take out the key info and write it down. So in the description, it tells me right here that the food truck sells salad for $6.50 each. So I know that each time I buy a salad, what happens, and I indicate it with the variable S. So S is my variable for salad. That's how much it will cost me. If the number of salads I buy will each end up multiplying $6.50 each time. And for drinks, I knew right off will be $2 and D. So D indicated is drinks. And so right off, I noticed that when I see two variables in this question, that means I need two equations. So right off, the question tells me right here that the food truck revenue from selling total of 209 salads and drinks. So that means the total number of salads and total number of drinks will have to equal to 209. And that'll be in one of my equations. So this is equation 1, equation 2. This is not done because I don't know my price. And then afterwards, it tells me that the total sales revenue is $836.50. So right off, afterwards I saw this possibility. There's two ways I could approach this type of question. There's a process called elimination. So number one process I could solve it based on is something called elimination. Number two process I could solve this by is called substitution. And so for this type of question, I ended up doing, based on the work I did before right here, I used the process of substitution. Elimination could work too on this question. I just opted for substitution. And so when I saw this question, it's asking me how many salads were sold that day. And so when I'm looking for salads, I'm going to make sure to get rid of D, which is the drinks, because I don't need the values for D. I need the value for S. And so what I did first was I moved my S minus S right here, and D's cross out. And so I end up with 209 minus S. And so afterwards, what I did was that I substituted this value into here. So this whole value here, I plugged it into here to solve it out. And so ends up becoming 650S plus $2 times 209 minus S equals to 836.50. And so 650S plus, I multiply this to 418 minus 2S equals to 836.50. And so duly note that I'm just putting all the decimal sort of values. You don't need to. I'm just doing it just because of preference reasons. So afterwards, what I did is that I looked for common factors or common values that, I could combine. And so right here, I could combine 650 and $2, which is 450S plus 418. So I got rid of these, equals to 836.50. I punched it into the calculator wrong the first time, but 836.50 minus 418 will be 418.5. Let me confirm that's correct. Okay, yes it is. And so afterwards, what I did was that I did 418, 50 equals to, so I did minus 418 just in case for your reference, equals to 450S. And then 418.50 divided by 450 ends up becoming 93. And so when I look in the answer choices, 93 is a possible answer, and the final answer for that question is B. And so that concludes my explanations for today. Thank you for watching this video. Please do subscribe to our channel, like our Facebook page, and I'll see you next time.